some trading sections in the past week have been impressive.
Yeah.
But what would you say for you in the last 1 week now? We've had more than a week into June, the month of June. For you, what do you think has been driving the market? What was the sentiment you thought that dominated the market the most?
Actually, I've said at the beginning of the month that we expect a mixed trend for the month of June. And in the history of Nigerian market, June has always been a mixed trend. For that, we don't expect a bullish run or a complete bear market.
To continue to run like that.
As we see now, it's already just reflecting itself, telling you that, yes, we had a 2 days positive and 2 days negative as at this hour. It tells you that investors are taking opportunity to see where they can enter and also where they can also step out. At the same time, if you look at the market formation, market has formed a double top on the other side and this side, signaling a correction. But that correction, for me, it won't come as expected because we're having number that will support the correction, support the market in the next month. And also, we're expecting to see the inflation figure for the month of May. And at the same time, also seeing a formation that what we're seeing now actually is what I can see, towards the that was past around the 2008, 2007. Before the market had that kind of spike in 2007 to 2008, market did the same thing, the same pattern that we're seeing now. That means for me, market is just relaxing, looking forward, a trigger. And when a trigger means something is here to trade, whether to positive, up or down.
What a positive news, or policy statement.
Yeah. So actually, for seeing the peaceful conclusion of the primaries in the political space, they also give a sign that we might also see a smooth election coming, because if the parties have come to that level, we can see whether they say there's money back on the stuff, but we have seen a peaceful election, primary and transparent. For me, give a lot of Nigeria and also foreign investor confidence that, these guys are becoming matured, and that also be part of thing that will support the market. But believe that from now till next year, February, that money that will come from because of electoral activities, we can find a way of trickling down to the market. And also, if at the end of May, we'll see that inflation also have moved above 17 to around 18, that will also trigger fund to flow to equity market again. But I believe that this month of June, yes, it's the month that lead to end of the first half of the year, and toward the end, more call window dressing by traders to do at the end of this quarter. That will drive the market up and down. For me, investors should not panic. You
talk about inflation earlier. Is that a prediction that we may likely have a jump in the inflation rate?
Yeah, no. Well, like you can see, the price of things has already shown. You don't need to wait. And also, cost of fund has also contributed to it. I know that it won't do much now because it was done around 23rd of May. But from this month of June, cost of fund, cost of diesel and all those things also going to insecurity. People are not in the farm. Also, the planting season. All the buyers see that inflation will be on the upside, but that will also inform where funds should go. Because if inflation, you are not earning above inflation, any investment you are in, you are in red already. You must earn above inflation for you to say yes, you are getting a return in your investment. And the only way you can get it now is in stock market or real estate, and which I believe that stock market is where you have little money you can pay. For you to go into real estate, you need a big money to do real estate business. But equity market, with little, that means I see opportunity in that equity market because there are some stocks that have shown that they are defensive in nature, their earnings are positive, and dividend is coming out regular from this company. That is where it should be to hedge against inflation. I believe that investors should not worry about what we are seeing, but by this month of June, by end of July will be seeing Q2 number for the half year. That will also give you insight where you should put your money.
Let's narrow down to...
and also if you look at what has happened with the hiking rate, banking stocks are becoming attractive. Pulling back, when I see banking stock pulling back, I'm always happy because as from third quarter, it will change because they start implementing the new adjustment in rates. That will also help them to get.
I think they have even started, by the way.
No, they will call you, but I think we'll start impacting their bottom line. Really, we'll see it in Q3, not in Q2.
Not in Q2.
Now, you are seeing the price of stock or in banking stock coming down. It become attractive for you to buy because they have become cheaper.
But let's narrow down to some of the activities that we saw in the market yesterday. Zenith Bank and Access Holdings recorded losses yesterday. At one time, Zenith Bank, or we'll say banking stock, seems to be the pride, the bride of the day, let me say. But what would you suggest this time around? Why the investors who continue to hold their position in the banking sector or banking stocks?
I'll tell you, both the PFAs and the high net worth individual investors are looking the way of that banking sector. But that is where you see volume. At the same time, they are consistent in their dividend payment. Seeing banking stock like Access Bank or Zenith Bank pulling back is not a lot of fundamental issue. That's a matter of market forces. That means people are taking profit. Not that there's something wrong with this, but their earnings are strong and they are consistent, they are dividend people. Pulling back for me is an attractive point for you to enter. That's why those that have not enter Access or Zenith Bank, when see the price coming down ahead of seeing this positive news or fundamental of adjustment in rates, impacting their numbers in going into Q3. For me, when you see that adjusting down, also don't forget that these are the banks also that pay interim dividend. That dividend will come up from end of this quarter. That means between now and August, we'll be expecting to get interim dividend from all these banks. That means if you are seeing them coming down, for those that really want to make quick money,
it's the right time to get into the market.
That's why they are coming down. It's not any panic, but rather become attractive and cheaper for you to buy these stocks.
Talk to us about the University Press Limited, which gained about 9.43%, lean about other 15 gainers at the end of yesterday. There was not much activities in recent time about University PLC or Press Limited. But what do you think informed the rally yesterday?
Personally, I'm not surprised seeing the stock inching up yesterday, because this is a company that has their March as financial year end, and they will release their unaudited account for the year ended March 31st, 2022. And investors are looking at on the strength of the earnings they are seeing as that unaudited account they have released, would they be able to pay dividend? It's not only University Press, we have Academic Press, we have Learn Africa, we have Resta. This company are March year account, and they have released their unaudited account. For this is guiding investor, where should I pinch my tent if I'm looking for dividend? If I'm looking at capital appreciation, since they have until the last trading day of the month of June to release that audited account, I mean, between now in less than 3 weeks, result of them, investors will be positioned in such companies that that from their earnings they are released unaudited, they are likely to pay you dividend at the end of the day. That price feed on these earnings, and now I've seen on them when audited come with either any form of reward, either bonus or dividend, pay, cash pay. That also important.
These are smaller caps. Stocks. If I may refer to them as smaller caps. Stocks here. But let's talk about, you mentioned Learn Africa, you mentioned Academy Press, and then of course you have UPL as well.
Press, yeah.
They play in the same sector.
Exactly.
There's something that comes to mind. In the next 5-10 years, perhaps businesses are going to change. Those days we used to take film to laboratory to do a photo, a copy of your photo, exactly. But now it's direct image. Just take your photos, and what is likely to change? And do you think these particular companies playing in this sector, are they thinking towards any change in terms of innovation, bringing it into their businesses?
They should be thinking that way as well. For I believe that any business that wants to survive, you need to think ahead. Now that we're seeing Google becoming the nearest textbook for people to read, the nearest place to look for but because they are producing for secondary and primary school, they have their market already. That is why when schools are resuming for a new term, you see, go and check the numbers of this company from Learn Africa, from Academic Press, and from University Press. When you see at the beginning of each section, because that is the period where schools, owners, directors, all those buy books in bulk for their students. They make lots of earnings. Good numbers. That means for me, they have come to board only that they need to also open their space to see that
innovate,
how they can also take this their books online so that students can have access. I believe that they are not
because why I ask is because education, I think there's innovation in around education to bring in technology to enhance learning at the moment, and that's the reason why I ask, because we've seen some of these companies still in terms of market capitalization is still very low. So one is thinking, how do these people impact, or what should they do to impact on on their expansion, and that will also impact on their bottom line.
Just like I just said, for the primary school, they should have a way of having a tech education, or even need their books to be online, so that they also have access and not still pay. You can still have access and still pay, but all this will be online. Like anywhere you are in the world, if you have access, you can look. I believe that schools and the business owner who that is the book printing or
the printing press.
Yes, I believe that they should, because everything has gone online, and that is why I tell you that if you are anywhere you don't have MTN stock, you are still losing, because if we are going, online, we need data to do it. For me, that means a business has settled for those kind of, sector. That means you should look at where is it that whether there's food or no food, whether there's no money, there's thing that you need that is essential. And those, even though when they increase the price of those services or products, you still go to buy them. That's where you should be to edge against inflation.
Well, on the flip side now, let's look at CNI leasing. What do you think has been happening in this particular stock all the way? It was down on Thursday by 8.57%. That to close at 320 kobo. That's the current share price.
For me, since over like 2 years or 3 years, they are not doing well for me to assess them. And since what's called, is it the Peace Mass Transport bought into the company about that's 64% or 1%. I've not seen the impact of them coming to be as the major shareholder in that company. At the same time, the number they are posting since then has not been also be attractive to attract investor to that direction. I'm losing 9.something yesterday. For me, I'm not surprised because I told you earlier that investors in the Nigeria market are becoming savvy and intelligent. They know where they can edge against inflation, where they can make money, because you are in the equity market to make money. You are not there to look at the name of the company, or you have a friend. No, every investment is for a purpose and it's again the future. For that, you take away emotion when you are investing. This kind of company, if it's not delivering, you look away from it. And that's why I tell you that will have more than 150 or 180 stock on the exchange. The one that's not doing well, keep it aside. Focus on the one that do well and make your money.
Let's look at some of the sectors now. 4 of the 5 major indices of the exchange, namely industrial, you have consumer goods, you have insurance, you have oil and gas as well. All of them except for the banking sector. But let's look at these other sectors that are gaining. What do you think is driving these gains?
I've said earlier that they will call portfolio rotation and also called sectorial rotation. At this point, you look at which sector, which area you can edge against inflation. That's what's happening. Or company in that sector that is a leader, and that leader, you have seen that this company can also, earnings can support their price to go further up. And even when it's pulling back, you know that it will reverse very soon. And that is why they are taking position where you can look at oil sector. You know what's happening in oil market. As speakers today, despite the oscillating price of oil, it's still trading above 121.5 as at yesterday.
That's impressive.
They tell you that oil is selling above $100 alone. That's sector that was involved. That I'll give you some kind of positive fundamental news for oil sector. If you look at the world of industrial sector, you know that as far as we're having infrastructure problem, and also we're in an electoral period. I tell you earlier in this class that stock like Julius Berger, stock like all those Dangote, Wapco, because this is the period of election. Now they've done the primary. Before you go out with your manifesto, what you want to do with your plan, you need to show that, I've done a road from Oshobolo to Ibadan. Right. And if that roads are not yet complete, you don't want anybody that is concerned to that you leave money to either Julius Berger, most may then repair the road, so that it will be a part of campaign. Yes. For when you are referring that what you have done, if you want to give another chance. That means this period, till 2023 February, I see these companies doing well. Not only that, because we're having an infrastructure problem, and also we're having a housing problem. That means we need to do more. That means even though they increase their price up, there will still be demand for their product because they are essential and also want to bridge a gap.
Well, give us your outlook for the coming week. I mean, yes, of course, today the market closes the week today, and the coming week we should be expecting inflation figure to drop in the market. Yeah. So what is likely to change?
No, for me, I see that the trend I was seeing in the up and down trend will continue today. Like I said yesterday, a mixed trend. You saw what happened yesterday. Market lost 0.04. The previous day was 0.14. That means the losing strength or momentum started reducing. I see that it's a very moderate drop. Let's see today whether, but being last reading of the week, I don't expect it to be. If again, that means one of the big cap stock will have pull that up. But I believe that profit taking will still be there until we see the inflation figure. These economic data are very important to see. Let's see where we are heading. I think that what investors should do.
I think we should leave it there. Thank you very much, Ambrose Amodion, Chief Research Officer, Zenith Consulting Limited. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.